Hello and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name's Angel Baby Kyra. Make sure you like, subscribe, follow me on Instagram, TikTok, Substack, all that good stuff. Before we get into this video, I will say I am a fan of Doja Cat's music. Am I a fan of Doja Cat? She's a lot, I would say, problematic. But we're gonna get into it today. We're gonna be talking about how we got here, her history with controversies, and how her new album is performing. But in Doja Cat's world, it is indeed flopping. Commercially, V is underperforming relative to Doja's own ceiling, not relative to the entire market. And today we're going to be looking at a lot of things through chapters, I guess I would call them. First one being Chapter 0, Pre-Existing Fracture from Scarlet. So a quick rewind. Doja Cat's audience did not carry into this new album V because it's not the same audience it was in 2021. She experienced a lot of unfollowings and people just were upset with her behavior. Of course, we're going to have to mention some of her controversies, her wearing a shirt with a very far-right conservative extremist posting it, and a lot of people had a lot of strong feelings. Her arguing with her fans in threads, she did not like the parasocial relationship that was going on. Whether we like it or not, and I personally find parasocial relationships really weird and I just don't condone parasocial relationships. I feel like celebrities have the right to have boundaries because they're people and you don't have a right to a certain person. As her fans are who keep the lights on for her and put her in this pedestal and place of power, fairly wealthy, but I feel like they still should have the right to be like, hey, this isn't okay. She did mention a lot of times that she felt uncomfortable with stan accounts using her government name, which is Amala, and she also called her fans stupid because her previous work like Hot Pink and Planet Her were cash grabs and just pop nonsense, which is basically what she calls it. So this brings us into the first chapter, which is expectation math. So when V arrives with glossy love pop, it's not just are these songs good, it's do enough people still want to go to bat for you in public? Are they still going to defend you? It's your highest energy super fans that will push your album. But if they feel like they got a slap in the face previously, do you really think that they would volunteer themselves to be your free sales force that turns a solid single into a chart topping hit? I don't think so. Audiences compare you to you. They compare you from you now to the very first album they found you with. We see this so many times. Oh, I miss the old Lana. Oh, I miss the old fill the blank here. Planet Her in the early Scarlet window trained us to expect an easy top 10 that drags the album up the chart. Even Scarlet, with its bunch of controversies, there are plenty of hits on that record, and then she chose to release an extended version of it, which also has some pretty good hits on it as well. And I feel like a lot of people see Scarlet as a way of Doja Cat to be Doja Cat's most genuine form. She was pretty much saying that this pop machine that she became was not really her and she was fooling her fans to get money. Now, V landing number 4 is respectable in a lot of ways, but next to Doja's own highs, it reads like a flop. Rebrand promise is I make monoculture movements, anything less feels like a dip. So from her being this pop culture icon, with her iconic video Moo going on to Genius in a cow print costume, you saw cow print everywhere. She was literally everywhere. Say So you could not get away from. Bobbing with people like SZA with Kiss Me More, and she was just a feel-good pop rap girly. She could sing, she could perform, she was the whole package. However, beyond that, when people heard her or saw the chat rooms or how she talked about her fans and a bunch of other controversies, people began to have a strong disliking. Now, people do admit that yes, her songs do slap. She is talented. There is no argument that she is not a talented performer, talented musician, producer, or writer. However, how much will that save you from people not liking you as a person? Now, chapter 2, singles didn't create a gravity, show stopping, chart stopping kind of for her. Albums move and singles move. Jealous Type has a sticky hook, a splashy VMA slot with Kenny G, and still capped out shy of tentpole territory. Follows up with songs like Gorgeous arrived, but without a runway top 10 to pull casuals. The album behaves like homework only fans will want to do. Jealous Type, I feel like, was teased so early, and then by the time it came out, people thought about it. I didn't even know that Doja Cat was coming out with an album until it got released that same day. When I heard Jealous Type, I was kind of taken aback because now she's in this whole 80s persona and she does it well, but I feel like it's kind of overplayed where people don't really have like much ideas and they regurgitate something like the 80s. Am I saying that it's bad? No, it's a bop. It's very catchy. She is very good at this 80s-esque kind of music. Again, very talented. Her VMA performance was just flawless. She can dance, she can sing, she can perform. She's definitely trying to clean up her image. 2025 album success is downstream of one huge song or one huge social behavior. If the stan core is smaller and less eager after Scarlet, the single has to work harder on its own. Chapter 3, Era's story, aesthetic versus stakes. V's story is clean. PR perfect. Outfits, hair, everything polished to the max. Return to pop, something that Doja Cat had sworn she never wanted to do, but we saw it with her pop-esque tracks in Scarlet, like Agora Hill, things that really paid homage to her pop upbringing, and I just felt it was kind of weird to shit on the work that got you to where you are now. There was a reason why you started with this music, right? And if we looked at Doja Cat's previous stuff, even before her commercial success, she was very much an OG Tumblr girly, okay? Flower crowns, everything. Her one unreleased song, I forgot what it's called, but very lo-fi aesthetic until she got into this clean pop, PR ready kind of pop machine. 1980s sheen, romance and sex themes, studio lore, some Jack Antonoff in the credits. It looks premium, it looks sleek. A strong aesthetic isn't a sticky narrative. Casual listeners, I'm doing Lux pop again, isn't a reason to stay for the whole album. There's persona whiplash too. Scarlet's spiky confrontational posture, in your face, I'm going to talk my shit, versus V's romantic gloss, very feminine and very soft. Scarlet had this posture about it where she was confident and was like, this is me and you're gonna fucking deal with it whether you like it or not. Very contrasting to what we see now. Artistically interesting, commercially confusing if the visual myth doesn't match the social feed. And if you've seen any of her recent videos or interviews, I guess I should say, she's very much in her 80s aesthetic, hair done, her clothes, stuff like that. Her most recent performance of All Men, very theatrical. I have nothing to say about her performance besides it was stunning, it was great, better than the recorded track on the album. Everything about it was clean and just very intentional. However, the whiplash of going from Scarlet to V might be a little confusing and not enticing to many. Chapter 4, audience sentiment and PR noise. Stans aren't a monolith. You got day ones, Planet Her pop heads, Scarlet rap era truthers, and casuals who want a summer earworm like paint the town red. Discourse around artwork, looks, and relationships can soak up oxygen that should go to music. She says, follow me, but you don't really care about the music in attention. A jab to people who follow her I guess in her perspective, criticize her for everything she does in her personal life more than the music that she makes. A lot of her songs in Scarlet do reference the fact that people say everything she does is demonic, everything she does is not okay, that she's been humble this whole time and it's time for her to speak her truth. Again, controversies, who she was dating at the time, someone who I believe had allegations against him, people who were very questionable. When the single isn't undeniable on radio or TikTok, ambivalence shows up in the margin. First week reads soft, then week 2 is pretty much decay, and it's not going to be climbing from there. I haven't really seen it on TikTok. I saw it was a trending audio on Instagram Reels, but to be honest, Instagram Reels is not really have a good trending discovery page, to be honest. I feel like it's just, I don't know. Chapter 5, market timing and competition. The release frame matters, and especially the climate that we are now. The US government, if we want to call it that, US empire is crumbling before our very eyes. The week V released, I feel like there's just so many political things going on that it's just hard to focus on other things while people are focusing on trying to survive and feed their families. But I shall digress from that because I feel like a lot of pop stars also don't understand and are kind of out of touch in the fact that, you know, audiences are probably more preoccupied with something else. Week V released, the top 10 was crowded and discovery was fragmented. In 2025, without giant radio or a viral pattern on TikTok, even strong fan bases can't brute force a #1 top single. We also have to mention Taylor Swift and her new album, The Life of a Showgirl. You don't know me, I've never been a fan of Taylor Swift. I've been saying this from the pews forever, but we all know how Taylor Swift likes to play these charts. I'm not saying that if Taylor Swift didn't release anything that V would have topped, but I'm saying that we have to recognize the album chart atmosphere that we are currently in. A tight chart race reframes event perception even when the music is good, and therefore it's not gonna do well. Chapter 6, the music itself. So here's the nuance with V. Critics broadly liked V. It's right, it's playful, it's 1980s influence or tinted.
So I've listened to Doja Cat's newest album V several times now, and these are my first impression thoughts. I'm gonna say this right now, this is Doja Cat's best album. Through and through, this is an 80s dance pop record, which has been a big trend at the start of this decade, but Doja is really doing it in a way that stands out to me by adding a lot of rap elements. There's a rap verse on almost every track on this record. To me, it's also Doja's most consistent record. It's pretty straightforward, to the point, but has really solid choruses and performances. Most of all, the production on this album slaps. The synth grooves go off, the drums have punch, there's some great sax work throughout too. There's a lot of producers with credits on here, but most notably is Jack Antonoff, who I know I've been hard on with his work in previous big pop records. However, here he is in his bag. Every song that he has credits for make up for some of my favorite produced tracks on the album. I think he's just more in his pocket when he's making pop songs with a little bit more funk in them. As far as favorite songs go on here, the opening track, Cards, is just some really groovy synth pop with Another One Bites the Dust-esque bass line. Jealousy I thought was a great single, and it sounds even better on the album. Amen is the funkiest, weirdest song on the album, and Doja is just coming through with so much personality on her verses. Gorgeous is a really catchy pop rap cut that sounds like it could have ended up on her last album, Scarlet. Take Me Dancing with SZA is just another banger disco song from these two. They have so much chemistry together. Lip Stain is probably the smoothest, sexiest song on this album. One More Time is another one that brings the disco with some really cool guitar riffs. And Comeback is a very Michael Jackson sounding song that is a solid way to end this record. Even the tracks I wasn't as crazy about on here, whether that be the production not standing out as much or the songwriting being a little bit weaker, still had likable elements. So while sure this might not be the most innovative album ever, it's still a really good crop of solid 80s pop songs, which makes it not only Doja's best album, but one of the better mainstream pop records of this year. But let me know in the comments your thoughts.
Doja Cat toggles rap cadences and pop top lines over analog leaning drums and chorus soaked guitar. Highlights fans and reviewers, call out cards, jealous type, men, and a couple of prom movie slow burns. If anything, the songwriting is tasteful more than greedy. And greedy songs bully their way onto radio. Tasteful songs wait to be discovered. Chapter 7. Why the flop narrative catches. Flop is something that is like poison candy. What's actually happening is a mismatch of input, strong visuals, decent reviews, a good album without a top 10 gravity single, or B, a viral behavior. Plus, a smaller, colder street team after Scarlet and a crowded week. The outcome isn't a disaster. It's the middle, and the middle feels like failure when your baseline is runaway win. So again, it's kind of hard to compete with yourself when you have chart-topping hits, albums like Hot Pink and Planet Her. Now, it isn't all doom and gloom for this era or for this album. Late bloom singles pick the most TikTok legible hook and see choreography or memeable POVs deliberately. Live asset packaged the VMAs with Kenny G into shorts, rehearsal BTS, stem, sax hook POV, narrative content, and mini doc about Unravel, Electric Lady sessions, and why the 80s now give casuals a reason, not just a vibe. For Ignition, the announced tour Ma Vie run across 2025-2026, Black Prop a sleeper hit, and great live clips could be traveled and people can be like, oh my god, this is great, I love her new era. However, I feel like it will still be somewhat hard because a lot of people, again, will have a very bad taste in their mouth from Doja's previous antics. My verdict, lastly, is V is a smart and stylish return to pop that's underperforming versus Doja's previous work, and I think that it's a solid album. I think it's cute, I think it's fun, but I can't help but think that it is a money grab, like Doja has said many times before with her pop albums. I think that this era is fun. I think it's, something different for her. She's really showing her uniqueness and her ability, her range. But I do feel like there are valid criticisms of her. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Let me know what you guys' thoughts are. Have you listened to the album? I only like probably 30 songs off of the album, to be honest. I think it's Strangers, Jealous Type, and Men. That's pretty much my top picks. And yeah, let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.